Back into Weather Nation, we're taking a look at infrared satellite across the Northwest into the Pacific Northwest of the U.S. and into British Columbia. You see that big L there in the Gulf of Alaska? That's a low pressure, and that's going to be bringing us our next several weather systems that we'll be talking about here this hour and throughout the hour. So thank you for joining us here on Weather Nation. We'll get to the radar here now. As really, this is just a long-term thing. As we look at the radar right now across the Northwest, there's really not a whole lot to talk about. Just a few light showers there out across parts of western Washington and the Olympic Peninsula out there just in the Puget Sound. Not a whole lot going on out here. Where we do have some storms, though, is across the Central Plains, right here across Nebraska into Iowa. We've had some severe thunderstorms earlier today. Most of those have been canceled, fortunately, and we are in the clear for right now, at least. You see some of those warnings over the last few hours. But let's just take you to right now, because we do have the potential for more severe in this area in the day to come. So as we take a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlook for today, we have that enhanced. That's a level 3 out of a 5-tier system, and that's what we're talking about, the coverage area, the most likely where we're going to be seeing the intense the intense wind and hail factors. The tornado factor is still around a 5%, so still something to keep in mind, to keep an eye out. Make sure you have multiple ways to get warnings, because this could be a late evening to overnight event as well. But also the wind threat, especially across the southeastern part of Nebraska into northeast Kansas, out to the Kansas City area. That's where we're looking at the most intense winds, as well as the hail threat just a little bit farther north, not as much into Kansas, as we're going to be seeing mostly into the supercellular structure that's going to be creating that hail threat. As we head towards the northeast, though, there is still just a little bit of remnant moisture around this area, just a little bit of light rain coming through behind that system that brought us some of that severe weather over the last couple of days. So upstate New York, around the Adirondacks, around the Tug Hill Plateau, we're just seeing some light to moderate rainfall at this hour. I want to also take you down towards the south, as we've seen a dry line beginning to set up across West Texas and into parts of New Mexico as well. As we take a look at some of the current conditions, the temperatures are very warm around here. We've got temperatures into West Texas that are into the hundreds right now, and some places into eastern parts of New Mexico, are seeing temperatures into the 90s. So we take a little bit of a closer view, though. I want to bring you to the dew points, because that's where it's really impactful. 19 for that dew point just to the west of Clovis, around the Fort Stockton area. We also have teens for those dew points. Out towards Oklahoma City, though, it is very humid out there, where we've had some of those dew points into the 70s. So you notice right here around Amarillo, either side of that is where we have that divide in the moisture. That's the dry line, and we could look at the chance for dry thunderstorms in this area where we've already seen many wildfires. So dry thunderstorms are just when you have a thunderstorm that forms, but all of the rain evaporates before it reaches the ground. Right now on radar, we don't really have much to talk about around this area, so that is some good news. But of course, we'll continue to keep our eyes open for anything that develops.